everybody. Welcome to another exciting value wagering video. This one is sponsored by YouBet.com. So they insisted that I wear a nice shirt. Of course, I've had problems in that area in the past. But, you know, there's that rebellious side of me. That's kind of why I got into handicapping, so I could kind of be my own person. That thinks, you know, they told me to wear a nice shirt. Fine, I'll do that. But they didn't say anything about pants. So, with that possible unpleasant thought in your mind, let me get up and show you. No, just kidding. Let's talk about the Sam F. Davis. Let's just get off this subject altogether and talk about the Sam F. Davis Stakes. This is the first legitimate 3-year-old prep for the Kentucky Derby, at least in my mind. It's a race that has really gained in stature since it attained graded status a few years ago. And this is a pretty good field. And we're going to start with a horse that looks awfully strong in this field. You know, typically with these videos, I like to save the best till last. Well, in this case, it's kind of hard to do because this horse dominates pretty much every statistical category that is important in handicapping. If you look at overall speed, he's right there on top. If you look at overall class, he's there again. Also, and this I think is very important, he leads in overall ESRs. Those are my early speed rations, which are a measurement of energy disbursement early. And he leads in late speed rations, which, of course, are the same thing except for late energy. So this is a horse that's going to be very tough to beat. And, of course, I'm talking about Rule. So we're going to take a look at his last race in the Delta Downs Jackpot. And this is probably the race where he impressed me most because I had a horse by the name of Uh-Oh Bango as my key horse this day. In fact, if Uh-Oh Bango wins the Delta Jackpot, I'm sitting on a big pick 3, bunch of nice winning wagers. So take a look at this race, and you tell me at the head of the stretch if you wouldn't have been screaming prematurely. Check it out, the Delta Downs Jackpot and Rule.
They're coming for home, and right now we have a 2-horse race. It is John Velasquez going to work aboard Rule. To the outside, it's Uh-Oh Bango and Glenn Corbett. It's a match race at the top of the lane. 2.5 lengths back to Oakmont, who's desperately trying to catch up. They're coming to the 16th hole. Rule is digging in. Uh-Oh Bango to the outside. Then comes Oakmont. They're coming to the finish. Rule is gutting it out, and Rule will win the Delta Jackpot Stakes. Uh-Oh Bango was second. Third went to Oakmont, and it was way back to litigation risk in fourth.
Now, the likely second choice in this race, or possibly even the first choice, is a horse by the name of Uptowncharlybrown. And this is a horse that I really have mixed feelings on. But the mixed feelings aren't handicapping feelings. You know, I've had some contact with some of the owners and some supporters of Uptowncharlybrown. They seem like a great group. So my heart really wants this horse to do well. But when I look at the figures, I just cannot make a case for Uptowncharlybrown. Not only are the pace figures regressing, but they're not very good to begin with. And so I think on the stretch out, it's going to be tough for Uptowncharlybrown. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if this horse is a lot closer early than you might expect. But not the kind of horse that I can get real excited about. The pace figures just don't match up with Rule. They don't match up with a lot of contenders in this race. A minus 15 LSR last time. That is very, very poor. So take a look, and you be the judge. Here is Uptowncharlybrown's last race. It was an improvement, Beyer-wise, over his debut race. This is the Pasco Stakes and Uptowncharlybrown.
Now strikes to the lead, comes from the maiden ranks, and will score in a stakes in front and going away. He might be the real deal, drawing away, scoring by 3.5. It'll be a photo for second, and the running time 1:24.1.
The next horse I'm going to talk about, actually a couple of horses, is Schoolyard Dreams and also African Moon. Now, these two guys faced each other last time in an optional claiming event right here at Tampa Bay Downs. Well, I'm not at Tampa Bay Downs, but at Tampa Bay Downs. $75,000 claiming affair. Both were entered not to be claimed, and Schoolyard Dreams was the 2-5 favorite, yet really struggled to win this race, as you'll see in a moment. Having said that, I feel that Schoolyard Dreams galloped out a little bit better than African Moon, and he does have a race at Philadelphia Park right before that $75,000 optional claiming event that was very good, an 87 Beyer figure. Both of these horses are showing improving LSRs, but it leads me to believe that maybe Schoolyard Dreams prefers to have a faster pace to run at, which is something he did not get in that last race. So take a look at the last race, and then we'll go on and look at some other contenders. But here's Schoolyard Dreams and also African Moon.
Schoolyard Dreams is set down for the drive. African Moon is there toward the rail. Up on the outside is CC's Pal as they turn into the stretch. 3/16 of a mile to run, and they're 3 across the track. African Moon is toward the rail. Schoolyard Dreams legging in on the outside, but he's still there. Inside the final furlong, Schoolyard Dreams on the outside. African Moon is toward the rail and down to the wire. Schoolyard Dreams and Daniel Centeno will go on to take it. Going away by a length and a half. African Moon is second. CC's Pal third. And Sir Bocce was fourth.
We come now to the horse that I think should be the second choice in this field. I'm not saying he will be, but I think he should be, and that's Middle of the Night. This is yet another horse in this field that is showing improving LSRs, but this guy has got the buyers to back up those late speed rations, and he's also been racing against, I think, some tougher company. His last race at Gulfstream Park in an allowance event. Take a look. Here is Middle of the Night at Gulfstream Park.
Reaching for the wire at the 16th pole. Middle of the Night. Thank you, Philippe, on the outside. Escandarea keeps on going, and Escandarea wins it by a length and a half.
Before we wrap this up, there's one other horse I'd like to talk about, and that is Tristen's Mambo. Now, this horse is not only showing improving late speed rations, as I said earlier, a lot of the horses in this field are, but he's showing improving early speed rations as well, and that's a very potent sign in horse racing. The problem is his buyer figures are very, very light, and he's probably pretty light on ability. That said, it's a 3-year-old race, and often you can see 3-year-olds make dramatic improvement almost overnight. And you'll notice, in fact, that Tristen's Mambo, in his very last race, upped his buyer figure by 27 points. If he does that again, that puts him in the 90 range, and that's pretty close to being competitive against the rest of these horses. So Tristen's Mambo, a horse that I would be looking at in the exotics at the very least. Now, let's round out our tickets. We'll take a look at the win factor fair odds, and you'll notice that Rule tops the list here. And what I try to do with my win factor report, or really with any kind of fair odds line, you can do this with the morning line, is you try to validate the line. In this case, I think it's fairly accurate. I would lower those odds on Rule a little bit. He's 8-5 on the morning line. I think that's fair, or even 7-5, maybe even go as low as 6-5, but Rule definitely the one to beat in this field. Schoolyard Dreams, I think a logical second choice. 6-1, 9-2, kind of in that range is what I would be looking at. And then, as I said, I would use Tristen's Mambo as part of my tickets as well. And one of the things that I like to do a lot of times is key my top choice in first and second. I would probably do that in this race, just looking for that big payoff that you occasionally get in races of this type. But I think you're going to get some value, because I think Uptown Charlie Brown is going to draw quite a bit of money, and as much as it pains me to say, he's just not one that I would be using in this particular race. Anyway, I hope you all have a great wagering weekend, no matter how you bet the Sam F. Davis, and I'm sure I'll talk to you again somewhere down the road. Take care.